urban areas, right? So that's what we'll be discussing today. So our target is youths, entrepreneurs, people who are living in the urban residents, women, students, and as well as community organizers. So at the end of this brief discussion that we are going to have here, you are going to understand what urban microagriculture is and why it matters for our cities. You're also going to learn practical growing method that is suited specifically to small urban spaces. You're also going to identify high value crops and micro livestock with significant profit potential, and as well as discover low cost ways to start and scale a micro farming business successfully, and build a personal action plan towards beginning your growing and earning within days. Okay, so the first question is, what is micro agriculture? Right, micro agriculture is the ability for you to start a production, the food production process, right, from the very small space you have in your house or in your home, right? So you have a small space, like maybe let's say you stay in a gated compound, right? There is space where you can maybe park your cars, like you have your backyard and all of that, right? Those spaces, you can literally use them for micro agriculture to plant things, right? So instead of spending so much money, or each time you want to cook your food, each time we're spending so much money, always buying these plants or vegetables, you can start growing them yourself in your house, right? Example is floated pumpkin, like that's your ugu leaves, right? If you go in the market, the ugu leaves you consume, especially those who stays in the urban area, you may not know this, but most of these ugu leaf are highly chemicalized. What do I mean? It means they use enough fertilizer on that ugu leaf. That is why it is there. It is not organic. And because it is not organic, it will not give your body the right nutrients it needs. So those of you who always buy ugu, maybe you cook every day, you always buy ugu in the market, you have to check the how the your consumption, right? And what the effect it is on your body. I've actually done that practical literally when I was in Cross River State. So I was in Northern Cross River in 2022. So the ugu that I was being sold, right, was coming straight from the farm. So when I use it to cook, it is more healthier, it gives more nutrients. But I then moved to the city, few months later, which is the Calabar area. And I realized that the ugu leaves, right, in that area is not no more nutritious than the one I had when I was in Northern Cross River. So that is to tell you how this thing is and why you, as someone who is currently living in the urban area, you should start, having to plant these crops, right? Not just ugu, your scent leaf, your what are they calling it? Your uziza leaf, your is it ukazi leaf, utazi leaf, and all of that. You can be growing them in your backyard. You can be growing them in your environment, right? So you can use containers like sack, to grow these plants, and what this happens to you, it also help you turn your limited urban space into a productive growing area. Now, one of the things I will talk about this is waste, right? Your food waste. Now, when you start planting these things, that is when your food waste start becoming more effective. Why? Because you can use that food waste as manure for those plants. So instead of throwing everything in the garbage and in the landfill, you can dry them, you can grind them, you can still put it like that, it will decay on its own. But when you put it among those soil plants, right, people do use other forms of manure like fowl poo, pig poo, and the rest, right? But food waste is much even faster and effective as well. So you just use that food waste like your banana peel, your plantain peel, and all of that. You mix it with your soil that you're using for your home garden, right? So why urban micro agriculture matters now? Why does this thing matters now? Number one is the rising food prices, right? You spend more money in food. Let's say last year or last 2 years, you can take 5,000 naira to market and you cook a good soup that will do the house maybe for the day or for the weekend. But if you take that money now to the market, you will not buy enough food items that was going to take care of the family for that day. So that means you are now going to spend more money. Some people are saying, oh, even 12,000 or 15,000 or 20,000, depending on how much you, most of the women here, right, you know how you go about these things, right? So, oh, even 15,000 naira is not enough to buy pepper, buy salt, buy all other food ingredients. So, the rising food prices, yeah, which continues to rise, affect more of the urban areas, people in the urban in those areas. So if you start this thing, it will help you to reduce cost. Yeah, it will help you to start growing your own food, within your house. And as aside that, it will also help in shortening your transport, right? Instead of spending so much in transporting food items and all of that, because you are growing some of these things around your side, your home, you don't have to, pay so much for that, right? Then it's also an income opportunity, right? It creates opportunities for you to start making sales of when you have enough of these items, you can make sales. Like yesterday, we just harvested one of our bananas, right? So we can decide to sell this banana to the public. We can decide to eat it, depends on what you want. So these are also like things you can do for your own home. So you can grow your food items and you can sell them, right? So next is the economic and social environment. What are the benefits? It helps generate income, right? It also strengthens community bonds and through shared growing spaces, and it also helps you to improve in your knowledge, because when you start these things, you will definitely seek for knowledge, information, what will help you to take care of this plant and all of that. And outside that, it also reduce food transport emission, recycle, and you, just like I said earlier, you recycle organic waste into compost. Like in my house now, I'm saying this because I'm also practicing this, right? In my house now, any food waste goes into compost. That's, yeah, I'm using it to feed on those my small spaces, where I plant vegetables, water leaves, and all of that. So that is also another thing. So you are also helping the environment, in circular economy. So practical growing method, right? Method you can use depending on how big or small your house is, right? I think there's enough time. I'm going to show you some pictures of how some of these places look like, right? I'll see check I'll check if I can share my screen and as well show some of the items some images I got online. So you have like a pictorial view. Okay, yeah, okay. I've seen some of them. Let me just minimize. So after now, before I end up, I will show you the picture. Okay, so you can use pots, you can use buckets, or you can use any of those containers, even plastic bottles. You can also use that containers, as your soil container where you are going to put your soil. You can as well use sack. Some people use cement bags. You can use cement bags instead of throwing it away, right? You can use cement bag. You pour your soil inside and you start planting. And for those who have large space, you can go do vertical farming. And there is also hydroponic farming too, where you don't need much land, to build. So these are practical growing method you can use when you want to grow your plant in the urban area. Then for micro livestock opportunities, yeah, there are people who also practice this. I don't know. Yeah, we have black soldier fly. I think I've met with someone who does black soldier fly. It is just like creating a manure for animals feed, like fish, and all of that. So black soldier fly is one. You can also rear rabbits. I know of someone who does that. Yeah, is all of these things, they are highly in demand, right? These items that I'm mentioning, they are highly in demand in the city. Pigs, you can rear pigs, but I won't advise anybody to rear pig in their home. It is not advisable. Why? Because of the smell and the environment where they are going to grow. Maybe you should have maybe a different place if you want to rear pig, but you don't rear pig in your close to where you stay, right? But you can rear rabbits, you can rear snail. Yes, snail is also very highly needed. Restaurants are always in need of it. Rabbits, it has high protein meat, so people are always in need of it. Poultry, of course. Chicken is always needed. If in Nigeria we are still importing chicken, that means the demand supersedes the supply that Nigeria can give, right? Nigeria still imports cold frozen chicken from the US, from other African, Asian countries, and the rest, Japan. Even fish, we import fish, right? So if we still import these things, it means that we doing it locally is not even able to meet up the demand. So what does that mean? It means that even if you start it, you are going to make money out of it no matter the times, right? So this is for livestock, if you want to start on livestock farming. So then for high value crop, right, that are in demand, you have mushroom. Yes, mushroom is in demand. Some people don't know about mushroom and how to grow mushroom, but I've actually worked in a mushroom farm. That was in 2019, 2020. So I knew how why mushroom is in demand, right? It gives a lot of it's like an immune booster. That's what mushroom does in the body, like an immune booster. It makes you stay healthy. It's also a good vegetable too. So if you have not started eating mushroom, I think you should start. You see a very good percentage in your health rates, especially if you are the type who are allergic to meats or so it's like an alternative to meat. Yeah, that's what mushroom does. So short growth cycles, like you choose crop within the short growth cycle of 20 to 45 days, so that you can make maybe quick turnover. Then the match crop selection to available space, light condition, and target market demand. So you don't just plant anyhow, right? Because it's an urban area and you don't have much space, except you have a farm, right? If you have a farm, right, that's when you can do it. So I was talking to someone today. yeah, this evening about agro investment and like leafy vegetable. He started like the amount of land you have, more like 1 acres, 2 acres of land, would determine the value you are going to get in the market. So it's not about how much seeds you have, it's about how much space that is available to plant, right? So when you have enough space, you know that amount of space that you grow, the amount of food item that is going to come out from that space will be enough to cover both expenses and also make you money. So remember and understand that the key thing here is space. Now I'm talking about people who have farms. I know some people, when they were registering, they indicated that they have farms. So space is very important. Maybe we'll have that discussion another time, right? About how to manage your space while planting. Right. So micro agri business opportunities, fresh produce, nursery, these are the opportunities, right? You can sell fresh produce directly to the household, restaurant and local market. Let me tell you, once you have your food ready, your harvest ready, you shouldn't be saying I'm looking for where to sell. I've heard a couple of people complain that, oh, I'm looking for where to sell, I'm looking for who will buy my products. No, if you have them ready, there's a ready market. Restaurants, they are just sell to them. Meet, talk to them, don't be shy, talk to them, they will buy. The only problem is that if you are not consistent, right? I know some of you know sun-dried food, that is Kilimanjaro. I've been in the position where I'm seeing how they are buying from farmers, right? They are buying these vegetables and all that, they are buying from farmers. Why? Because there is no enough supply, there is a consistent demand. So when you have this produce, don't bother, just go meet people, household, restaurants, hotels, they are going to buy, even including the local market, right? Then you can also do nursery service. There are people who do nursery service where you can even be selling the baby part of the crop or vegetable, right? You can sell it to other urban farmers, people who want to also plant. So instead of them to start from the scratch, you just help them so that what they do is nurture it till it grows, right? Then also things like you can make it value added, right? Maybe you don't want to sell fresh, you can sell, the dry vegetable, the chili powder, the spices, like curry leaves. Now you can dry it and make it to curry powder and all of that. So aside that, you can also file consultation if you are well groomed, into agriculture. So these are the opportunities, where you sell to household, just like I said. Um, then let me just rush. There's no time. So what are the common challenges? Water costs, limited space. I talked about limited space. Pests and diseases, market competition, skills gap, and the rest. Practical solutions: rainwater harvesting, vertical system, organic spray, differentiates, focus on organic and premium quality produce. Right, that is what will really attract people to buy from you. So like I said, how to start is very simple. You shouldn't be that expensive. Don't think it's that expensive. With your empty containers, you can start. You buy seeds, we can help you sell seeds and also give you sell soil, like the topsoil that will be good for planting. Then simple irrigation system, right? And that's it. So, well, and finally, begin with low cost containers for those that doesn't have good land in the environment. Then use focus on high value crops. Look at what people are always buying every day. Then if you want to sell, but if it's for your personal use, no problem. Explore opportunities, learn about seedlings, learn how where to get it. If you're in Port Harcourt, there you can get seeds, I think at the Oyemi market and all of that. So we also sell seeds too. So and all of that. So thank you all. I believe with this few discussion we just had, you're able to understand a little bit about urban agriculture, micro agriculture, and how you can uh, get started. So just choose your space, select your crops, and start growing today. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that presentation.